Most backyard fruit trees give you a few weeks of harvest, maybe a month if you are lucky. You pick what you can, freeze the rest, and then spend the next 10 months buying berries at the grocery store. But there are 12 fruiting bushes, tough enough to survive minus 40-degree winters and scorching summers, that produce food from May all the way through December. Some of them yield 30 pounds of fruit per plant. A few were actually illegal to grow in America for over 50 years, and almost nobody is planting them. These are 12 bushes that can give you food 10 months a year, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly which ones to plant and when each one starts producing. Let's start with the very first berry of the entire growing season. Number 1. The honeyberry. While your strawberry plants are still waking up from winter dormancy, the honeyberry bush is already ripening fruit. This is the earliest fruiting bush you can grow in a temperate garden, with ripe berries appearing in late May, a full 2 weeks before the first strawberry. The Ainu people of Hokkaido, Japan, called this berry the fruit of life longevity and harvested it for centuries before Western botanists ever laid eyes on it. The word haskap, which is the honeyberry's other common name, comes from the Ainu word hashipkapu. It took until the late 20th century for researchers at the University of Saskatchewan to breed cultivars suited to North American growing conditions. And even now, the honeyberry remains virtually unknown in American garden centers. Which is strange because the plant is nearly indestructible. Honeyberry bushes survive temperatures down to minus 49 degrees Fahrenheit, thrive across zones 2 through 8, and produce 5 to 15 pounds of fruit per mature bush every year. The berries carry 3 to 4 times the antioxidant load of blueberries and more vitamin C than oranges. The bush itself grows 3 to 8 feet tall depending on variety, keeps all its fruit between waist and chest height, and needs almost no pruning for the first 5 years. You do need 2 compatible varieties for pollination. Look for Borealis for the best flavor and Tundra for disease resistance, and you can grow them in containers. An 18-inch pot works fine. Number 2. The serviceberry. By June, the honeyberry harvest is winding down, and the serviceberry is taking over. This bush was one of the most important food sources in North American history, and today, almost nobody recognizes the name. Indigenous peoples across the continent relied on the serviceberry as a key ingredient in pemmican, the dried meat and berry mixture that powered the fur trade, sustained hunting parties, and fed entire communities through harsh prairie winters. The city of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, takes its name from the Cree word Misasquatomina, which means this exact berry. The English name serviceberry likely traces to colonial times, when the bush bloomed each spring just as the frozen ground finally thawed enough for communities to hold the funeral services they had been postponing all winter. Saskatchewan alone now has over 900 farms producing Saskatoon berries across thousands of acres, a $30 million industry. Yet cross the border into the United States and you will struggle to find a single bush at your local nursery. Each mature plant yields 4 to 10 pounds of berries with a distinctive almond and marzipan flavor that comes from the seeds. Older specimens that have been growing for 15 years or more can put out 30 pounds. The bush is self-fertile, meaning one plant produces fruit on its own. Compact varieties, like Regent, stay around 4 to 6 feet tall and fit easily into container gardens. Hardy, down to minus 60 degrees in zones 2 through 7. and the spring bloom is gorgeous, covered in white flowers that make it double as an ornamental. But the next bush on this list makes the serviceberry look modest by comparison. Number 3. The Nanking cherry bush. If you want sheer volume of fruit from a single plant, the Nanking cherry is almost impossible to beat among fruiting shrubs. Utah State University Extension reports yields of 15 to 50 pounds per mature bush. That is not a typo. One bush can produce 50 pounds of small, tart, bright red cherries every summer. Native to China, Tibet, and Mongolia, the Nanking cherry arrived in the United States in 1882. By the 1930s, American breeders were excited about it. The 1937 USDA Yearbook of Agriculture praised it as a promising American fruit crop. Breeding programs flourished across the United States, Canada, and Russia through the 1940s. Then they all collapsed. The fruit was too small for commercial harvest machines, so the industry walked away. No named cultivars survive in production today. Every Nanking cherry sold is a seedling. The bush grows 6 to 10 feet tall, tolerates drought with as little as 12 inches of annual rain, survives minus 40 degrees in winter, and ripens from June through July. You need 2 plants for cross-pollination. In traditional Chinese medicine, the fruit was prescribed to clear heat and reduce inflammation. You can keep the bush pruned to 5 feet, which puts every cherry within easy reach. Number 4. High bush. Blueberries, but with a twist. You probably already know about blueberries. But you might not know the trick that stretches blueberry season from a few weeks to over 3 months. Plant an early variety like Duke or Patriot, a mid-season variety like Blue Crop, and a late variety like Elliott or Aurora. Together, those 3 bushes produce ripe berries from June all the way through September. That is 14 weeks of continuous blueberry harvest from a trio of plants that live for 50 years or more. In 1910, USDA botanist Frederick Coville published a bulletin that solved a mystery which had stumped growers for decades. Blueberries need extremely acidic soil, pH 4.5 to 4.8, at a time when every farmer in America was adding lime to raise their pH. A cranberry grower's daughter named Elizabeth White read Coville's paper, offered her family's land in the New Jersey Pine Barrens, and recruited local pickers to tag the best wild bushes. They offered $50 per plant for bushes bearing berries as large as a penny. The first cultivated blueberries hit the market in 1916, and by the 1990s, 75% of all blueberry acreage worldwide descended from their work. Each mature bush produces 5 to 15 pounds per year. Container growing actually solves the pH problem because you can use acidic potting mix instead of fighting your native garden soil. They are hardy in zones 4 through 7, with half-high types surviving zone 3. Number 5. The black currant. And now we get to the berry that the United States government made it a crime to grow. In 1911, the federal government banned all ribes species, the family that includes currants and gooseberries, to protect white pine timber from a fungal disease called blister rust. The lumber industry lobbied hard for this ban. USDA-funded eradication crews went farm to farm with chemical spray backpacks, ripping currant and gooseberry bushes out of the ground. The ban held for over 50 years and effectively erased currants from American food culture. Cornell University estimates fewer than 1 in 1,000 Americans have ever tasted a fresh black currant. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, black currants were saving lives. When German U-boats blockaded citrus imports during World War II, the British government turned to black currants as a vitamin C source for children. 90% of Britain's entire black currant crop went into Ribena syrup, distributed free to kids under 2. The reason was simple. Black currants contain 181 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams. That is 5 times more than an orange. The federal ban lifted in 1966, but roughly 10 states still restrict them. Each bush yields 3 to 10 pounds of fruit in zones 3 through 8, stands 3 to 5 feet tall, tolerates partial shade, grows happily in containers, and remains productive for over 20 years. The variety Titania is rust-resistant and vigorous. Ravata is the go-to for red currants, which carry 3 times the vitamin C of an orange and make perfect jelly without any added pectin. Number 6. The gooseberry. Gooseberries were caught in the same 1911 federal ban as currants and suffered the same cultural erasure. Before the ban, they were wildly popular. In 19th century England, gooseberry clubs held heated competitions over who could grow the single largest berry, a tradition spanning generations. The Victorians used the phrase "born under a gooseberry bush" as their delicate way of explaining where babies come from. Each gooseberry bush produces 8 to 10 pounds of fruit per year and keeps producing for up to 40 years. That is a plant you could put in the ground today and still be harvesting from when you are a great-grandparent. Hardy in zones 3 through 8, self-fertile and tolerant of shade, which is rare among fruiting plants. Each cup of gooseberries delivers 46% of your daily vitamin C and contains ellagic acid, a cancer-fighting compound that uniquely survives cooking, meaning your gooseberry jam retains the benefit. For seniors, the thornless variety Captivator eliminates scratched hands entirely. You can also train gooseberry bushes as single-stem cordons against a fence, a technique that takes just 1 foot of horizontal space and puts every berry at eye level. Number 7. The Josta berry. If you love the idea of both currants and gooseberries, but want something tougher, the Josta berry is a thornless hybrid of the two, and its creation is one of the most dogged stories in plant breeding. English breeder William Culverwell first crossed black currant with gooseberry back in 1880. The result was sterile. German scientist Paul Lorenz picked up the work at the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Berlin in 1926, producing over 1,000 first-generation hybrids. Then, World War II hit. Only 8 of those plants survived the war. Researcher Rudolf Bauer continued with those 8 survivors, made 15,000 more crosses, and selected just 3 seedlings. The Josta berry finally reached commercial release around 1977. The name combines the German words for currant and gooseberry. Johannisbeer plus Stachelbeer equals Josta. The result was worth the wait. Josta berry bushes are completely thornless, yield 10 to 20 pounds of fruit per plant, resist white pine blister rust and powdery mildew, and thrive in zones 3 through 8 with 0 spraying. The berries hang on the branch without spoiling, giving you an unhurried harvest window through midsummer. Self-fertile, too. 1 bush does the job. If you are finding this helpful, hit subscribe. We cover practical growing methods every week that save your back and fill your pantry. Now let us move into the late season producers, because this is where the real magic of succession fruiting kicks in. Number 8. The romance series Bush Cherry. This bush has the most dramatic backstory on the entire list. Starting in the 1940s, a Canadian farmer named Les Kerr began secretly crossing pie cherries with Mongolian dwarf ground cherry on prairie farms in Saskatchewan. He worked alone, kept almost no records, and told almost no one. By 1983, Kerr was dying in a hospital bed. A nursery friend convinced him to contact the University of Saskatchewan before it was too late. Fruit researcher Cecil Stushnoff rushed to map Kerr's best plants across multiple farms. Les Kerr died roughly 2 weeks later. The university spent the next 16 years continuing his work, and in 1999 released Carmine Jewel, the world's first true dwarf sour cherry. A few years later came the romance series, Romeo, Juliet, Valentine, and Crimson Passion. Those names were given by scientists with a sense of poetry and gratitude for a dying farmer's gift. Carmine Jewel produces 25 to 30 pounds of fruit per mature bush, with some pampered backyard plants reported at over 70 pounds. The bush grows 6 to 8 feet tall. It self-pollinates. It survives winters as cold as -40 degrees in zones 2 through 7, and it puts every single cherry within arm's reach, without a ladder or a step stool in sight. Tart cherries are one of the few food sources with significant natural melatonin, and that supports healthy sleep. Number 9. Ever-bearing raspberries. They earn a spot on this list because of the word ever-bearing. Unlike regular summer raspberries that fruit once in July and quit, ever-bearing varieties produce 2 separate crops. A summer harvest comes in June and July on last year's canes, and a larger fall harvest runs from August through the first hard frost on brand new growth. The variety Heritage, released in 1969 by Cornell University, became the most widely planted fall-bearing raspberry on Earth. By the 1990s, 80% of Chile's entire raspberry acreage was Heritage. A 10-foot row of mature Heritage canes can produce 18 to 27 pounds of fruit per season. But for anyone dealing with sore hands or limited mobility, Joan J is the better choice. Joan J is completely thornless, no scratched wrists, no leather gloves required. It produces 20 to 30% more fruit than comparable thorned varieties, with larger berries that ripen about 2 weeks earlier than Heritage. Both varieties thrive in containers as small as 20 gallons. The simplest maintenance approach for either variety is to mow all canes flat to the ground each winter. You sacrifice the smaller summer crop, but the single fall harvest is bigger, easier, and requires half the work. Raspberries also carry the highest concentration of ellagic acid found in any common food, a compound studied for its role in healthy cell maintenance. 1 cup provides 8 grams of fiber and over half your daily vitamin C. Number 10. Elderberry. Hippocrates, the father of Western medicine, called the elder tree his medicine chest, making elderberry one of the oldest documented medicinal plants in human history. In European folklore, the elder mother spirit was believed to live inside every elder tree, and cutting one down without asking her permission first brought terrible luck. Mature elderberry bushes yield 12 to 15 pounds of fruit per plant, ripening mid-August through mid-September. They are hardy in zones 3 through 9 and grow 5 to 12 feet tall. One critical warning: raw elderberries are mildly toxic and must be cooked before eating. Steam juicing is the easiest method, and it eliminates the tedious job of stripping tiny berries off their stems by hand. The antioxidant profile is staggering. Elderberries carry nearly double the antioxidant load of blueberries and 3 times the anthocyanins of red raspberries. They also contain roughly 600 international units of vitamin A per 100 grams, several times more than most berries. Plant at least 2 varieties for pollination. Bob Gordon and York are the best picks for home growers, with first real harvests arriving in the second year. The bushes do get tall, up to 12 feet, but respond well to annual pruning that keeps them compact and manageable. Number 11. Aronia, also called chokeberry. Aronia holds a title that surprises everyone who hears it. Out of every berry that has been widely tested, Aronia has the highest antioxidant activity. Period. Its ORAC score is roughly 3 times higher than blueberry and 1.5 times higher than black currant. Here is the strange part. Aronia is native to eastern North America. Indigenous peoples used it in pemmican and as dye. But it took being exported to Russia in the 18th century and then championed by Soviet agricultural programs to become a real crop. The cultivars Viking and Nero, which dominate world production today, are Russian and Czech selections of an American native plant. Poland is now Europe's largest Aronia producer. Meanwhile, in the country where it actually evolved, almost nobody grows it. Each mature bush yields 15 to 20 pounds of dark purple berries, ripening August through September. Some research trials in Washington state have recorded up to 27 pounds per plant. Hardy in zones 3 through 8, self-fruitful, with virtually no pest or disease problems. Aronia is one of the rare fruiting shrubs that genuinely requires no spraying whatsoever, which makes it ideal for organic homesteads. The berries are intensely astringent when raw, which is where the unfortunate name chokeberry comes from. Many growers consider that name a marketing disaster because the processed fruit is delicious. Juice them and blend with apple juice 1-to-1, or dry them, or make jam. The beautiful crimson fall foliage also makes Aronia one of the most attractive ornamental shrubs you can plant. Number 12. Goji berry. You have seen dried goji berries in health food stores for years. What you might not realize is that the bush grows beautifully in American gardens and produces fresh fruit over one of the longest windows of any berry on this list, from midsummer all the way through the first frost, potentially July through November. Traditional Chinese medicine documented goji over 2,000 years ago in the Shen Nong Ben Chao Jing, China's oldest herbal text. It was classified as a top-grade herb believed to promote longevity. The berry is the richest known natural source of zeaxanthin, a compound critical for eye health, especially as we age. Each bush yields 2 to 7 pounds per year in zones 3 through 10, which is one of the widest hardiness ranges on this entire list. The plant self-pollinates, fits in a pot as small as 5 gallons, and starts fruiting within 2 years of planting. A quarter-cup serving of dried goji provides 150% of your daily vitamin A and 85% of your daily copper. One practical tip: goji plants can send out runners and spread aggressively. Landscape fabric around the base controls that. You can also train the bush on a single trunk like a small tree, which makes harvesting the delicate berries much easier on your hands. So let us put this all together. Here is what a full season of harvest looks like when you plant these 12 bushes as a team. In May, the honeyberry kicks things off as the very first ripe berry of the year. June brings serviceberries, Nanking cherries, the start of gooseberries, early blueberries, and currants. July is the heaviest harvest month, with gooseberries, currants, josta berries, bush cherries, mid-season blueberries, and the first summer raspberry crop all coming in at once. August shifts to late blueberries, ever-bearing raspberries, elderberries, goji berries, and aronia starting to ripen. September brings the full late-season wave with aronia at its peak, elderberries finishing, goji still producing, and raspberries pushing through until hard frost. October keeps the goji and raspberry harvests going in milder areas. November and December extend the season for gardeners who also plant persistent species that remain on the bush, like sea buckthorn and autumn olive, which we will cover in a future video. All 12 of these bushes together need roughly 1,000 square feet of garden space, about the footprint of a large bedroom. At full maturity, they produce over 150 pounds of fresh fruit every year. A compact container version using dwarf blueberries, thornless Joan J. raspberries, honeyberry, currants, gooseberry, and goji can fit on a 10 by 10 patio and still give you 5 to 6 months of harvest. Every single one of these plants produces fruit between waist and shoulder height, so you never need a ladder, never bend double, and never climb a thing. Most need almost no pruning. Several are self-fertile, meaning one bush produces fruit on its own, and nearly all of them stay productive for 15 to 50 years. You plant them once, they feed you for the rest of your life.